Hey, what's up? Y'all, Xbox, the what, the why, we have the answers. Will HellDivers 2 be the hero Xbox needs? Maybe, but there's definitely a catch. All this and more on this episode of Press X to Start Gamers Digest. What's up, everyone? I'm your host, DJ, aka Sexy Bad Choices, aka, oh my gosh, what is happening in the games industry? I am joined by,
John MF Ross.
what does the MNF stand for?
I got nothing this week. I got nothing.
Hey guys, we keep it real, we keep it real. Well, I know who we are. This is Press X Start Gamers Digest, a video game news show that condenses the most important gaming news from this past week into an hour-long meal just for you. We are live on YouTube every week when we can make it because life is hard.
But this administration is not easy.
Not at all, but we're going to make it through. Gonna make it through. Don't forget, you can help us make it through by supporting this channel, by liking this video, subscribing to this channel, as I said, and hitting the notification bell. If you want, you can leave us a review on whatever podcast service you are currently tuned in on us. If you're listening and not watching, you can do both. You're capable of that. I believe in you. Yeah, so leave us a review on whatever podcast service you're using. After that, you can join in our conversation by joining our Discord at pressx2start.com/discord. All right, with that out the way, let us jump into the gaming news. So, as I said at the top of this podcast, Xbox had one crazy week that involved the laying off of a ton of people. It was a lot of news, a lot of stories. So I just kind of split it up into the what in terms of what happened and then the why. So the what. All the Xbox games canceled and studios closed in Microsoft's latest mass layoff. This comes to us from GameSpot by way of scroll up, Eddie McCooch. So I'm just going to read this article because it's a good consolidation of what happened last week with Microsoft and Xbox. So, Microsoft announced mass layoffs on June 2nd, impacting many areas of the company's sprawling business, including Xbox. Overall, Microsoft is said to be cutting 4% of its staff worldwide, affecting 9,000 people. Microsoft is an enormous company that employs more than 200,000 people globally. The exact number of cuts at Xbox is unknown, but Microsoft has confirmed layoffs at multiple studios, games cancellations, and entire studio closures. Read on to learn more about all the canceled games and studio closures as a result of Microsoft's latest cutbacks. Microsoft's gaming CEO Phil Spencer sent a memo to staff today addressing the cuts, claiming the job losses are necessary or were necessary to allow for the enduring success of Xbox. Thanks, I guess. Doesn't really help when you're on the losing end of that.
You also
Enduring
lost
success.
9,000 potential customers.
Mm, 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 mm. And more because they're families too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so this is a quote. We will end we will end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness, he said. Spencer also addressed the fact that the cutbacks are coming at a time when business is booming for Xbox. I recognize this is a quote. I recognize that these changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Looking at you, shareholders, not at you, other people. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap has never looked stronger. Unless we're cutting games from that said roadmap, then sure. The success of Xbox today is the result of tough decisions Microsoft made previously, Spencer said. Another quote. We must make choices now to continue success in future years, and a key part of the strategy is to discipline. No, is the discipline to prioritize the strongest opportunities. He added, "We will protect what is thriving and concentrate effort on areas with the greatest potential, while delivering on the expectations the company has for our business. This focused approach means that we can deliver exceptional games and experiences for players for generations to come." Hmm. Microsoft's stock price slid slightly after the layoff news was announced, but the price has been trending upwards in the past 5 years, currently stands at a near record high. Microsoft is
I
currently
mean,
number
it's
two.
gonna go up because they're gonna be making more profits. They don't have as many expenses anymore.
Yep.
Cra-
Also,
cra-
the stock market generally trends up. So
Yeah,
that doesn't yeah, it's just yeah.
that's
So
rough.
Microsoft is currently number two most valuable company on the planet, only behind Nvidia. That I didn't know. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so these are the studios that was affected and what's happened with each studio. So first up, Raven Software. Raven Software is an esteemed Call of Duty development studio. It's said to have been affected by the cuts. Remember, we don't know how many people have been let go from the different studios unless the studio's been closed and we know all the people have been gone. So Xbox hasn't given, or I guess Microsoft hasn't given the numbers for
Mm.
the exact number of people being cut from these places, except for certain exceptions like Turn 10. But yeah, Raven Studios, an esteemed Call of Duty development studio, is said to have been affected by the cuts. The studio co-developed 2024's Black Ops 6 and returns to co-develop 2025's Black Ops 7. Raven is also known for its work on Call of Duty Warzone. The exact number or nature of the cuts at Raven is unknown. They they are almost directly responsible for the cash cow that is Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and 7 for this year. And cutting them seems crazy, crazy. Again, we don't know how many people have been cut. It could be a thing of like, oh, 20 people was cut, where it's like those studios are pretty big because it's,
Mhm.
Activision led studios. And I think Microsoft would be smart enough not to disrupt their like literal cash cow. So yeah.
You would think that.
You would, yeah, exactly, exactly. I don't, common sense has been lacking in some areas with this corporation.
Hmm.
Turn 10 Studios. Forza Motorsport developed Turn 10 Studios has reportedly hit significantly by the Xbox cuts. A report said nearly 50% of the staff were let go. Though it's not clear how many people this amounts to, the studio last release was 2023's Forza Motorsport for PC and Xbox Series X/S. So what that means is essentially, because I think another story came out that I just didn't add because it's just reiterating the same stuff. But essentially, Forza Motorsport is dead, and going forward, the Forza game will be Forza Horizon, which makes sense because I believe Forza Horizon does more in terms of player base and all that stuff than Motorsports does. So
Yeah, because I mean, if most people want like a realistic thing, they're gonna go to like a Gran Turismo or like a Assetto Corsa. So
right, yeah. So and then like on the flip side, like looking at PlayStation, looking at Gran Turismo,
yeah,
I don't believe. I think well for sure Forza Motorsport, Forza Horizon is doing better than the last Gran Turismo, but again, they're not really in the
it's
same
different.
market.
Their
Yeah,
only similarity is that they have cars you can drive.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Next up, we got Rare and Everwild. British developer Rare was affected by the layoffs too, with the studio's upcoming game Everwild canceled. The game was announced in 2019 and has been in develop for reportedly 10 years before this decision came down. Anonymous developer Anonymous developer speaking to VGC said that Rare couldn't find the right direction for the project even after it was rebooted. So
Mm.
this is there's actually another thing I wanted to pull up for this. With Rare game being canceled and stuff, actually the head person over there, he left. So the Banjo-Kazooie Sea of Thieves director left after working at Rare for 35 years.
I mean, that's a good time to hang it up.
Yeah,
Especially since they
Greg
aren't doing
Millies.
anything with Rare.
Yeah. So Everwild, I never really followed Everwild, so it was just kind of like, oh yeah, that game that we saw a long
Neither did
time ago.
Microsoft.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, like, this is a weird stuff because back in February of this year, Phil Spencer was on a podcast with I don't remember. It wasn't us, so it wasn't that important. But he was on a podcast with a group of people, and they asked him about Everwilds, and he said, the latest build he played, he really enjoyed it. So back in February, that gave people sense that, oh, okay, we might actually see Everwild. We didn't see Everwild, and now we know that Everwild is canceled. Everwild's development has been a form of development hell because, as the article suggests, they couldn't find the right direction. Like, the original proposal for that game was that it was supposed to be a game without combat, and that created a bunch
That's a
of
limited
problems.
audience for a big budget game.
That too, yeah. So they just couldn't find the right footing, and I guess until recently, as of this year, but it was just too late. Yeah. Next up, we have a new MMO. So a new MMORPG from the Elder Scrolls Online developer Zenimax Online Studios, reportedly codenamed Blackbird, was said to be canceled. It had reportedly been in development in some form since 2018. Longtime exec Matt Froyer,
Yeah.
is also leaving the company. So this is another weird one where apparently reception of this game was also positive, and this was coming out of the established studio of the Elder Scrolls Online, or Zenimax Online Studios. Like,
MMOs are a hard sell. A new MMO is a hard sell. You have to be doing something really new to rip people from Final Fantasy. People are still playing the original WoW, the updated WoW. I don't know how many people are still playing New World, but like, what is the market like for a new MMO?
I mean, that's a good question. I think that's actually like a very,
especially in the era of live service games.
Yeah, that's a very reasonable question. Like, the only thing we have to go on is that reception to this game was also good. So it's like, it's not like this was in a bad place. It was just, all right, well, the game is good. It could have been like, oh, well, it's going to require a year or two more development time. Or what is the realistic expectation for support of this game if you're already supporting like Elder Scrolls Online? Like, can this team do it with this many people, or do we need to hire more people, which costs more money?
I mean, how big is ZeniMax Studios? Because I mean, you had Final Fantasy 11 running concurrently with Final Fantasy 14 because so many people still wanted to play 11.
Well, I'll tell you right now, it's not as big as it is now as it was about 2 weeks ago. It's also like, actually, one of my friends who did quality testing there got let go. So, and like, she was a lead. So it is a thing of like, I don't understand why you would let go of the QA people if you understand the importance of them. So it is just, huh?
I said, do they understand the importance of them though?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's a can of worms of like, they're obviously picking. I don't even want to say it's the best they can, but they're obviously just like trying to call the numbers as much as they can, which seems very ill-advised, but we'll get into that later on. Next studio / game, Perfect Art from the Initiative. One of Microsoft's newest studio, the initiative, is closing up shop, and its first game, a new Perfect Dark, has been canceled. A report from May 2024 said that the new Perfect Dark game was in rough shape. So,
This don't surprise me.
no,
You know
not
why?
at all. Go ahead.
Well, the first one was from Rare.
Yeah.
The people who made those original, I think they had 2 games. I feel like they had 2 games. But
Um,
Perfect Dark.
when I think Perfect Dark, I always think of Time Splitters.
Eh. Series Perfect Dark. Okay, they had one on 360 that came out 10 years
Yeah.
later. The original team that made it just isn't there, so they don't know what the magic was to make this game. You know that made it popular, that made it click. So they're just taking a property and they're taking some loose assets from what they know about it. But I mean, the original motivation isn't there.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like, even looking at the market,
Mhm.
it I don't see, I just don't see why you would pick Perfect Dart as the game to bet your chips behind, because, like, if you are pulling from the nostalgia, like, to what you're saying, like, the people who originally made that game are just not there.
Yeah.
The concept behind Perfect Dart's like, oh, espionage, like spy thriller, we already have that. We're getting a 007 game. We had Hitman for so long. It's like those things are already, the market's already saturated with those things. I'm not sure if the
Mhm.
market is calling for more of that. Um, and then on top of all of that, we had the gameplay demo of the game last year,
Yep.
and I want to remind all of you listeners that I called BS on that trailer, because there was a couple of things that stood out to me as like, this doesn't seem like a intuitive gameplay trailer. This seemed very
Oh,
scripted, and
so the
stuff
first
came out.
one sold approximately 3.2 million, but then the next one that came out on Xbox 360 barely sold over a million. It
Oh, I
wasn't
guess that's why we
a
didn't see another one.
super seller. They remastered the original for Xbox 360 in 2010, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It feels like they had the chance to pull an IP, and they picked Perfect Art as the IP to for the initiative, this new studio to work on. By the way, the initiative was a quadruple A studio. And if we
yeah,
learn anything from this industry, if you label something quadruple A, it is going to fail. It is going to fail. Okay? So just don't do it.
yeah.
Stop doing that. Okay?
What you need to label it
Thank
is
you.
quintuple A.
Right? No, we need more A's. Oh no.
Yep, yep. Break it up.
It's a
Yeah, smash it up.
shame. So yeah, it again, this sucks, but I saw this one coming. Like, especially because we didn't see anything from it this year.
Any movement, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, okay, something's obviously not right with it. And now we find out what wasn't right about it. All right, next studio, High Moon. Longtime Call of Duty code dev High Moon Studios have been affected by the Xbox cuts. Two, according to Charlie Intel. The studio has, for years, supported Call of Duty Warzone and other Call of Duty projects. So, I'm reading next one too. Sledgehammer Games, another Call of Duty co-developer. Sledgehammer Games has faced layoffs as part of the wider cuts at Microsoft. That's according to Charlie Intel and Insider Gaming. So this is weird, along with, like, Raven Software. It's like they're cutting the Call of Duty studios. So, the question is, oh, did Call of Duty Black Ops 6 do enough for them? Because, like, it's just assumed that it did, but, like, did it
We'll
really?
never know because they're not going to release concrete sales numbers. It's a different animal now.
Yeah, and I will say, like, this is completely anecdotal. Like, the Call of Duty people that I followed back in, like, what, geez, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, 2, whatever. Like, those people that was covering Call of Duty, like, they still cover Modern War or Black Ops 6, but the
And their
tone is
main
a little
focus.
different.
Yeah.
Not like, it's still their main focus, but their tone is definitely different. Where, like, they're talking about the cheaters, they're talking about, like, oh, is this it for Call of Duty? Like, it's definitely more
Well,
negative.
I mean, yeah. I think I saw a report or a story about a guy who was buying accounts. They'll just buy accounts in bulk. And
Oh,
once they get banned, they can be up and running
oh,
within
switch
5 minutes on another account. Yeah.
that's crazy.
So like they can't really
Man,
stop the cheaters.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's we just don't know. We just don't know, but it's obviously seemed like something's afoot with the
Yeah.
Call of Duty sales.
I don't see
Uh,
myself playing that again for a while. I liked the linear multiplayer. They switched that to open world. They killed
yeah,
DMZ. Warzone is full of cheaters. Just
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Nah, I'm with you. Unfortunately, because I love Call of Duty, but it is a thing of, like, maybe the next Infinity War game I'll probably
You
keep an
need to get
eye
up. You need to
on.
get up on Battlefield 6.
Oh
Apparently,
gosh.
their battle royale game will be modeled after Warzone. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we got some Battlefield stuff to talk about as well. But this is Blizzard and Warcraft Rumble. So Blizzard has announced that Warcraft Rumble support will not continue in its current form. While systemic events and bug fixes will be made, no new content will be added. Aftermath reports that some Blizzard employees will shift to different roles, while others will be let go. An exact figure has not been confirmed, but it is said to be as many as 100 people. Yuck. Next up, Halo Studios. The wide ranging Xbox layoffs this week has affected Halo Studios, the development team formerly known as 343 Industries that is working on multiple upcoming Halo titles. Not too much to be said here.
Yep.
There was another article that was saying that they kind of felt uneasy recently, and they kind of felt like something like this was coming. So, that sucks. But we'll we'll see how that
Well,
goes.
you can read that next one at the bottom and just not read story 6 or sub story 6
Yeah, 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 yeah. You're right. So
because I have
the
a
last
comment on
one,
that. Yeah.
okay. So the last one is Romano Games.
Romero.
Romero. Dang, you're right. What I say, Romano, Romero. You know.
Have
Hey
some
man,
respect.
I've been doing pretty good. Okay.
Sure.
So, Romero Games, the studio head by John and Brenda Romero, has announced that its unspecific publisher has canceled funding for its new game and is believed to be Microsoft. So, if you don't know who Romero is, he is one of the creators of Doom.
Yep.
So, he has some weight behind his name. So, in a
Hmm.
post, Brenda Romero said, "Our publisher has canceled funding for our game, along with several other unannounced projects in other studios." She added, "This was a strategic decision made at a high level within the publisher, well above our visibility or control. The words and the timing suggest that Microsoft, the publisher, for this new game, given Microsoft just confirmed it had canceled multiple unannounced games. Romano said years ago when its new FPS was announced that it'll be working with a major publisher and Microsoft would fit that bill. An affected staff at Romero Games said outright on social media that unfortunately, due to the recent Xbox layoffs, I've lost my position at Romero Games. Um, One thing to add to this is
Hmm.
that this was so they were so unaware of this where they recently had a meeting with Xbox team
The
to
day
go over the
before.
game. Yeah, and like there was no signal, no sign that like these cuts were being made, the funding was being pulled. Like they thought everything was okay, and then the next day it's
Microsoft, you
like,
dogs.
yo,
He's
it
like,
is.
I'll see you at lunch tomorrow.
Bomb the school. Wait.
Mm.
Yeah, man. It is insane. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's terrible. But what were you gonna say now?
Which leads me into the next story.
Hmm.
And then I'll comment. Keep going.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. So that is all the games, or that is all the studios that we know of
Yeah.
right now that has been affected. Now, it calls into question like other games, like other projects we know of. And then one of the projects was Hideo Kojima's OD, which is still in development with Xbox, at least of today. This comes to us from Jez Corden by way of
Before you
comes
even
from
read
Windows.
anything about this,
Yes, go ahead.
you got John Romero. You can't name many games that he's worked on. And I guarantee you, a large percentage of people playing games today have no idea who John Romero is.
Yep.
If you're old enough to remember, he had that ad back in the day for Daikatana.
Oh,
Yeah. John Romero's about to make you his bitch.
yeah.
Daikatana ended up being trash, but Hideo Kojima, Hideo Kojima is more high profile. They would not dare cancel
Yeah.
something as monumental as Hideo Kojima's exclusive new game on Xbox versus
Yeah.
whatever the fuck John Romero is about to make now, because he has not had a hit in a minute.
Kojima will mess around and update Death Stranding too. Why that BT look like an Xbox? Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah, the last
So
thing he worked on was Thief: Deadly Shadows, and that didn't.
that was not. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, I guess that might make sense then. Um. So yes, Hideo Kojima's OD is still in development with Xbox. Oh, this comes to us from Windows Central by way of Jez Corden. So, there's you know what? There's actually many of the second party projects were canceled too. These I'm jumping ahead in the article. These
Yep.
games developed by external teams but funded by and published by Xbox. We learned that Romero. Let me jump ahead of more. Um, I don't think there's anything else in here other than that. That project has not been canceled.
Yep.
Yeah, but I can. Okay, he said
I
that I can
wonder
confirm at
if they
least.
did cancel it because it's coming from Kojima Games. Does he keep anything associated with it? Like, I wonder
The
what kind
IP.
of deal they cut with him. If he can, all right, y'all pull funding, I can shop this around elsewhere.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he has the IP because that was his main issue with Metal Gear. Like he didn't get to
Hmm.
keep the IP, so that's why he made Death Stranding. So and he has the rights to Death Stranding with
Yeah.
PlayStation. So I imagine he owns the IP to OD, and Microsoft was like, whatever, that's fine. We just want you to make a game for us, please.
Hey, I'm
So
really curious to see how that deal went. But
yeah,
anyway, I think the rest of the sub stories are kind of just rehashing
yes, yeah.
the same things.
So one other thing is that also from Jez Corden on his Twitter, Microsoft CFO Amy Hood has given Xbox an utterly unrealistic financial requirement that is going to continue hurting the division. So this isn't over. So, you know,
Yep.
Jez is pretty reliable, especially when it comes to Xbox stuff. So this I'm taking this as pretty close to being a true thing. And that's not great to hear. That's not great to know that like more cuts will be coming because Xbox is shrinking itself. Um yeah, everything else I think we already covered. Yeah, we covered. Okay. So I also I put down the timeline to all these layoffs to kind of give a sense of
Mhm.
like what's been happening from the start of last year to now. So in January 2024, Microsoft laid off 1,900 employees, mostly from Activision Blizzard King. And then in May 2024, they targeted Zenimax Studios. So they closed down Arcane Austin, which is the Dishonored developers,
Mhm.
um, Tango Gameworks, who had made Hi-Fi Rush. They made Evil Within. Hi-Fi Rush was actually like won
Media darling.
awards. Yeah, it's still crazy. Hi-Fi Rush or Tango Gameworks got bought out by the PUBG publisher, or got brought back to life by the PUBG publisher, so they're still alive. Um, then we have Alpha Dog Games, which I was not aware of, and then Roundhouse Studio, which I'm also
Mhm.
not aware of. So that happened in May, and then in September 2024, Microsoft laid off 650 employees, mostly again from Activision Blizzard King, and all was pretty much good up until last week. So, and apparently this isn't over. So at the end of the day, it's tough to say like how many people they plan on, you know, cutting to get to whatever golden number they need to get to
Yep.
be in the black. So now we get into the why. So the why is Xbox or Microsoft doing this big cut? The simple answer is AI. It seems that Microsoft is pushing towards this AI first future, and AI requires a lot of money. One of the things to note about AI that was very
Mhm.
problematic, this comes from The Verge. Laid off workers should use AI to manage their emotions, says
What
Xbox.
kind of shit is that?
The fact
I
that
know
he
we laid
had
you off, but talk to
the
Copilot about your
ball,
feelings.
right? You got a
Broke
chat
shit.
GPT account, right?
You unemployed.
Here,
Wow.
put this prompt in right quick. Like, that is so insane. Oh my goodness. This comes to us from Jess Weatherbed. So there's actually a quote that there we go. Okay. So the developer, the Xbox developer, no, the Xbox producer that said this. I'm looking for his name.
Steve Matt Turnbull.
Okay, so yes, Matt Turnbull. Um, so the quote that he gave: "These are really challenging times, and if you're navigating a layoff or even quietly preparing for one, you're not alone, and you don't have to go at it alone. No AI tool is a replacement for your voice or your lived experience, but at a time when mental energy is scarce, these tools can help you get unstuck faster, calmer, and with more clarity." What do you mean? Is the AI tool gonna get my job back?
Mm,
How am I gonna pay for this Game Pass now, Mr. Turnbull? Huh? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know, but
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna,
I don't know. That's rough.
yeah, like it is crazy to be so up AI's like ass to be like, yeah, AI can solve this. What are you talking about? Like,
Mhm.
at least wait like a week before you say something like
Oh,
this.
that's not the full quote. I'm not gonna read the full quote, but he gave prompt ideas.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, keep
Oh
going all the
man.
way. Full. I'll read it. These are
Oh, career
challenge.
planning. You go ahead.
These are really challenging times, and if you're navigating a layoff or even quietly preparing for one, you're not alone. And you don't have to go it alone. I know these type of tools engender strong feelings in people, but I'd be remiss in not trying to offer the best advice I can under the circumstances. I've been experimenting with ways to use LLM, large language model AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot to help reduce the emotional and cognitive load that comes with job loss. Here are some prompt ideas and use cases that may help if you're feeling overwhelmed. Act as a career coach. I've been laid off from a role in the game industry. Help me build a 30-day plan to regroup, research new roles, and start applying without burning out. What kind of game industry jobs could I pivot to with experience in blank? Here's my current resume. Give me 3 tailored versions: one for AAA, one for platform publishing roles, and one for startup small studios leadership. Rewrite this resume bullet to highlight impacts and metrics. All of this is
That is insane.
Draft a friendly message that I can send to old coworkers, letting them know I'm exploring new opportunities. I wonder if this is the shit I've been getting online, because some people have messaged me similar stuff. Like, hey, let me know if they hiring over there.
Oh man, yo, like it is insane.
I'm struggling with imposter syndrome after being laid off. Can you help me reframe this experience in a way that reminds me what I'm good at? This is great. Matter of fact, did he write these or did he throw this in Copilot ChatGPT? Right. I just fired 9,000 people. Help me take some of the sting off. What?
Yo, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, that is beyond insane.
Wow.
Yes. Like, well, stay kind, stay smart, stay connected. That's how he ends that. Bro, get off your job, my guy. Like, how about you get by your job and then you can deal with your own advice and see if that works out. Okay. So more to the why. Turns out Game Pass might not be profitable, as Xbox apparently doesn't include development costs of first-party games. This comes to us from The Gamer by way of Rhiannon, Bevan, Shannon, Rhiannon, I think Rhiannon.
Sure, man. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. We'll do that. So, Xbox Game Pass always sounded like a model that was too good to be true. And now it turns out that it might have been just that. It's being claimed that Xbox's instances that Game Pass is profitable doesn't exactly give us the full picture. And that the calculations were not taking the cost of developing first-party games into account. This comes courtesy of Christopher Dring, editor-in-chief of the Game Business, said that he asked Xbox for clarification on this, and it claims that Game Pass was profitable. And was told that no first-party costs are included in these calculations. Okay, so
this is a hard story because all of this is conjecture, because we'll never have hard, concrete numbers.
Exactly, because Xbox definitely won't do that. So okay, so this is the quote. I'm just going to jump to the quote. So costs associated with the Game Pass business is fees paid to third parties, marketing, service cost, and by that measure, it's profitable. He writes, what they don't count is the lost revenue that Xbox first party studios are seeing as a result of the service. I have to imagine if first party studios receive similar compensation, that profitability might not be correct. Basically, this means that if you only count the cost of getting third party games on the service, as well as marketing and actually keeping Game Pass operational, then it does make money. However, if you factor in how much money Xbox puts down to make games like Starfield and Avowed, and how much money it may have lost in sales by having them on Game Pass from day one, then there's a chance that it does bleed money. So basically, when Xbox using this math, Phil Spencer can go on stage and say, yeah, Xbox is making us money because they are using a different kind of math, or they're using a different equation to get to that profitability. Where when we look at it, we're like, oh, okay, so all the games that are on Game Pass is making them money. And that's where, the audience is journey like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, how is this working? Like, even other developers are like, how does this work? And usually those developers are on the outside because just like they don't understand how this works. Like, you give people money, but you definitely not
They're doing
making
that
this thing
Hollywood
money.
accounting, and
Yes.
it's
And
okay.
now, if this holds true, this is the reason why there's that discrepancy.
Mhm.
So of course this would be difficult to estimate. You cannot count every time a title is played through Game Pass as a lost sale, since there's a chance that the player would never have given that particular game a try otherwise. But
Really?
undoubtedly,
You could apply that to piracy.
right? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But undoubtedly, two there have to be many cases where someone plays a title through Game Pass that they would have happily purchased if it weren't available on the service. Yeah, I mean that's how games have been working for ever before Game Pass, you know?
Six decades.
Uh yeah, right? Yeah. With all that said, we don't know for sure if Game Pass isn't profitable, only that Xbox hasn't given us the full breakdown that would include first party costs. Even with that in mind, there's a chance that Game Pass was worth the gamble, but given the continued layoffs from Xbox, that doesn't seem likely. And then the last thing, we're also starting to see some within the games industry turn on Game Pass. One of those figures critical of its business model is the founder of Arcane, who argues that it's damaging the industry. Did I
Mhm.
actually put that on here? Did I put this on there? Oh, then you shared something too, right?
I just found that interesting, the thing I shared. So,
Go ahead and read it. Yeah,
uh, on under Jess Corden's comments about what was it Amy Hood? Yeah.
yeah,
Someone commented that people have an emotional connections to video games and the people who make them. I don't think some people fully understand the repercussions of applying such cold, business only logic to creative industries. And Jez responded, video games and all entertainment companies are risk incarnate. She can't expect to run Xbox like it's business to business.
yep, that's true.
And that goes not just for Xbox or Microsoft cutting studios and employees, but everyone who comes in and sees the big bucks and jumps in trying to invest, thinking that they're going to get a guaranteed return,
Yep,
when no entertainment industry or media works like that.
yeah, and like,
After a point, it's no longer a game, and now you're just running a dopamine addicted, casino type whatever with
yeah,
microtransactions.
you
Go ahead.
you've transformed that game into like a business model where it's like, okay, well, if I do this into this, I can make this much money, and it's like it doesn't work like that because we will we will cut through that.
And
Oh, your camera. Oh, I think your camera's back. Okay.
that was you. But
Oh, what was
I was gonna say anyway.
that?
And eventually, gamers like to rally together when they see some BS going on. So
Yeah,
usually,
yeah, yeah. You're right. That I didn't put it on here, but I've seen rumblings about the unkill game something.
yeah, the Unkill Games petition or Don't Kill Games, Stop Killing Games petition.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
reach over a
yeah,
million signatures.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when we want to band together, we can make stuff happen. Um. So yeah, the one of the last things of this whole Microsoft layoffs things is the Arcane founder slams Game Pass following Microsoft cuts. Why is no one talking about the elephant in the room? He's referring to Game Pass. We don't need to really hash into that because we've talked about it so many times. It's basically that the model of Game Pass doesn't seem profitable, and based off of the article we just talked about, it's like, yeah, doesn't seem like it is. It seems like you have to use different math to get that profitability. So we'll just skip that for time. Number 3. This is sort of good news for the people who was waiting. With a catch. Definitely not. HellDivers 2 dev confirms it won't ever come to Xbox Game Pass. This comes to us from the gamer by way of Jack Coleman. So, amid all the terrible news for Xbox, there was a sliver of good news for the players. Helldiver 2 is releasing on Xbox next month. However, the co-op shooter won't be coming to the hugely popular Game Pass service, according to Arrowhead's community manager on the game's Discord server. In response to a player who asserted that Helldivers 2 was confirmed to be coming to Game Pass, Arrowhead community manager Baskinator. Oh, that is not a normal name.
Baskin Robbins.
31 Flavors replied promptly saying, "Definitely not. No plans to bring it to Game Pass. Helldivers will not be on Game Pass, guys." This shouldn't come to a surprise. Arrowhead and Sony are porting the game to generate revenue. So offering the game for free on Xbox services was always unlikely. Xbox is also unlikely to pay Sony a lump sum to put the game on Game Pass, even with its newfound zealous for cooperating with PlayStation, once a furious rival. It's a similar Sea of Thieves wasn't offered to on any tier of PlayStation Plus, Sony's equivalent to Game Pass. By all accounts, Sea of Thieves has sold remarkably well on PlayStation 5. Arrowhead is likely hoping for similar returns with Helldivers 2 on Xbox.
I think it's right up that demographics alley.
Here's the thing, right? Because like we've talked about this. We've talked about how the different first party publishers being PlayStation, Xbox, even Nintendo, they train their consumer base in different ways, right? Where like PlayStation, we're generally trained to jump to the third person story driven single player game. Nintendo is driven their player base to support whatever Nintendo game they put out, no matter
whatever their first party IPs are. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And whereas Xbox has trained their consumer base to support Game Pass. Hey, look, all these games are on Game Pass. Just
Game Pass and shooters, I'd say.
Yeah, and shooters too. But it is a thing of like, I mean, they put Call of Duty on Game Pass, so it's like, I don't know, like Helldivers 2 is a fantastic game. Helldivers 2 is still going pretty strong. Definitely not as strong as it was last year. But I jokingly said like, "Oh, this is going to sell like 250,000 units" in our little Discord chat, and like I don't see this being like a big seller on Xbox, because
what do you call a big seller? What number is a big seller? Because they were clamoring for it to be on Xbox last year.
Yeah.
And this is a quick turnaround.
This is a very quick turnaround, because it's a little bit more. It's a little bit over a year. What is I would be surprised if it hits over 2 million.
Okay.
I think
did it even sell that much on PlayStation?
Oh yeah. It sell like 12 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see it doing a decent amount then.
See, like I would think so too, but I feel like, what happened?
I'm just looking. I didn't realize it crossed 15 million by November 2024.
Okay. Yeah. That game was huge. Like it was especially huge on Steam. So I feel like for those people who really wanted the game, they probably figured out a way to get it probably on PC of some way. Like Steam
apparently
Deck
it's the fastest selling PlayStation game.
Yeah, first party. Yeah, because it's yeah, because it sold that 12 million. I think it hit in like the first
12 weeks.
2 or 3 months or something. What do you say?
12 weeks. So that's 3
12
months.
weeks.
Yeah.
3 months. Yeah. Yeah. So like it did gangbusters. So yeah.
Surpassing the previous record held by God of War Ragnarok.
hmm
I think it may do well on Xbox.
That's the hope. I just, it's that, I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to believe it will be, but it's
Mhm.
just that training and how people, yeah. Okay, so let us jump into the oh geez, I guess we can make the rest of this quick hits, huh?
Yep.
So we can talk about Death Stranding too. So the rest of this is quick hits. Number 4. Oh yeah, by the way, hey, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. I definitely forgot about the whole right. Please, okay, we talked a lot. So please, at least you could do is just like this video and also subscribe and hit the notification bell. That's the least you could do. Thank you. Number 4. These are quick hits, by the way. EA reportedly expect Battlefield 6 to bring in 100 million players, a number that even DICE devs don't think is feasible.
This
I
must
don't.
this must gonna be free to play or something. Because what? What?
Oh, it took like Warzone, I think, like a whole year to reach 100 million. So it's like, what are you guys even? What are you on?
That was free.
Yeah, it was free. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how we need to see like at least a trailer of this game. Like there's been leaks online, but a leak is not an official trailer that will put the game in the best light. So need to see that for sure. Number 5, Capcom's financials show that embracing Steam has paid off handsomely. It now accounts for a third of all the publisher's revenue. This comes from PC Gamer as well. Yeah, that makes sense. That Steam is huge. Steam is a huge market. There's most people on this earth have a PC, and if you can make a game that runs on even like 50% of those PCs, you will make a ton of money if your game sells. So yeah, that makes sense. Um Number 6. Ubisoft wants gamers to destroy all copies of the game once it goes offline. That comes to us from Tech for Gamers. Ubisoft, shut up. Just shut up. So tired. So tired of them. Number 7. You got something to say about?
I was just gonna read the quick little excerpt from the end user license agreement.
Go
You
for it. Go for
and
it.
Ubisoft or its licensors may terminate this EULA at any time for any reason. It will terminate automatically if you fail to comply with any of the terms and conditions. Upon termination for any reason, you must immediately uninstall a product and destroy all copies of the product in your possession. Y'all wild.
Sure, Ubisoft, sure. And then last up, number 7. Destiny's mobile spinoff will arrive in August. That mobile spinoff is Destiny Rising. Destiny Rising. Yes, I nailed it.
Boy, if you don't.
I want to be excited for this, but it's just like one. It takes place in an alternative history of Destiny, and even like that right there, I'm just like,
The original history wasn't. It was kind of shaky.
I know, but like Destiny's been going on for like 10 years now. It's like, what is this a way of, I guess it's a way of starting over, but it's I get it. It's on mobile. Mobile is gangbusters in the East. I understand.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be for us, and that's fine.
Exactly. That's what it is. It's just, it's not for me. I would like it to be for me, but it's not for me. Like the mobile games I play on my phone isn't like
It ain't these
Twitch
type of caliber
shooter.
games.
Yeah. I'm playing Marvel Snap and Gundam G Generations, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it, right? We got all the
Yeah,
okay. So let us jump into what we've been playing, which has been Death Stranding 2, obviously. So I guess we could do like a little quick update. Like, where you at in this game? How you feeling about this game? Is Kojima's sauce still saucing it up for you?
So this man, you could tell he longs, he pines. You know that meme with Wolverine in bed,
Yes.
Caressing the picture. I think while he was developing Death Stranding 2, he was lovingly caressing Metal Gear Solid, like And it's fine. It's fine. I appreciate all the influences and things that they put in there. I just feel like they streamlined it a bit too much and removed a lot of the friction.
Yeah.
Um, like I don't remember getting a vehicle this early in the last game.
Yeah.
I don't think you were able to pick up packages from the vehicle. I'd have to go back and check. I might be wrong.
Okay.
In the first game, there were two different classes of guns because some of the guns could kill enemy porters.
Oh.
And then you had to go dispose of them in a
Dispose
certain
of the
manner
body
to
before.
avoid a
Yeah.
void out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like it's easier either because I played the first one to completion or
Mhm.
because he just removed so much of the friction.
Yeah.
As far as where I'm at, I met the big enemy.
Okay.
I'll leave it non-spoilery.
At the fort, right?
West not, yeah.
Yeah, West. Okay. Yeah, okay. So how I feel about this game, where you say they remove the friction, I say, hey, lather me up with baby oil, let's go, because I enjoy how smooth this game is. I am surprisingly, not necessarily surprisingly, I came with this game at an open heart. My history with Death Stranding was that, you're muted? You muted? You muted on purpose? Okay. Um, yeah, my history with Death Stranding was that I sat and watched 4 hours of cutscenes for the first one to just be a
Yeah.
part of the zeitgeist, because I didn't want to play the game because it was very much so like it looked like, oh, it's a walking simulator. This is outside the realms of like what I want to do in a game. But I made a promise to the podcast that I would try this game out, and I am loving this game. So much
Hmm.
so where I'm just like, I like my barometer for like, oh, am I enjoying this game? Is that if it makes me forget that I have to do my Gundam dailies, then it's like, okay, this is
Oh,
really doing
wow.
something. Yeah, yeah. Like I've like even right now, I'm just like, I know I have to do my Gundam dailies, but like I'd rather sit and play it for a little bit because it is a really enjoyable experience. And like, for as much of the friction that has been rubbed off, or I guess polished
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
I think the game that I have been given, it's like, oh, this is cool. Like I still find that friction when it comes to dealing with the BTs, and it's also that's just probably because I didn't play the first one, so I don't have that experience. So I'm just like
Hmm.
still learning how to deal with them properly. But beyond that, it's like, oh, okay, this bandit camp, I can deal with these bandits. I can figure it out. If I get in some hot water, I have a sense of what to do. Um, the package delivery stuff, it's pretty fun. Like it's
Yep.
pretty enjoyable. The moment they offer me a vehicle, I
Uh,
made sure to have a vehicle with me on all times. So that has also made the experience like, oh, this is manageable. Like I I can imagine being over encumbered, having to hold L2 and R2 and seeing your goalpost like miles and miles away, being like, okay, I gotta get through
you know
this.
what they
And then,
removed? You don't have to soothe Lou as much.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And there were a lot more rigorous routes to traverse
Hmm.
in the first game.
Yeah.
So this just feels like a cakewalk. This feels like DLC, which is not bad.
Hmm. Yeah.
It feels like it's refined, but a lot of the friction is gone.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely get that. Like, oh, this is obviously a sequel to a game. Like there has been decisions made to make things just move a lot smoother. Like I also finished the big boss guy. Yeah. So I also finished the big boss
Hmm.
big boss guy at the, I guess the first kind of like big boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I enjoyed that. The boss battle was pretty like simple and like,
Hmm.
oh, you have a clear idea of what you're
Straightforward.
supposed to be doing. Yeah. I think that boss battle, I enjoyed that boss battle a bit more than that first like head you fight in
And
Mexico.
that may just be because you were getting a grasp on the handle, and it was kind of like a
Yeah.
panicky situation of, oh god, what do I do?
Yeah, I like my main issue with that fight was just I felt like I was just running into everything. And it's like, oh, I'm being sucked in, and then like, oh, there's a thing that I have to climb. I gotta press square to climb. And it's like, oh no, I'm getting trapped in by this wall. Like it's just a bunch of stuff happening. But like now that I got a sense, it's like of the combat, I'm like, okay, this is way more manageable. And like I think my guns were just over the level as well because
Yeah.
it was dropping like level 1 stuff and I had level 2 uh assault rifle and shotgun. It was just
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, overall, I'm enjoying this game. And the story continues just to be as weird as can be, but it is not weird where like I don't understand what's happening. Like it's still pretty cohesive and like that's pretty well done for like how crazy
Kojima.
Kojima can be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. It's pretty short for us, but we've been talking for a lot about Xbox stuff. So yeah, we did it. This has been another episode of Press X Start Gamers Digest. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed making it. Don't forget to please like and review this episode and like and review. No, like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like and review, like and share. Like the pod, like the video, share. Do the things, okay? You subscribe, you hit the notification bell, then you share it to your friends, and you can review us if you want. Any little engagement you give us, we really appreciate it. So please do all that stuff. And yeah, that's it. It's late, guys. I gotta play
Peace
some
out.
more Death Stranding. So
Yeah.
y'all take care. Bye.